I'm so tired of saying, hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're switching it up and we're saying, hey lovelies, I'm going to be doing first an unboxing of books that I've ordered. And the reason I'm doing this on camera is because I'm so excited. Like, I've literally been waiting for these books for like forever. And since it's been Easter, I've been waiting like extra long to get them. So I'm like super excited. And also I had coffee, which I haven't had for like 2 weeks because I've been sick and stuff. So I'm like really pumped up. So first we're going to do a boxing, then I'm going to do Updated TBR, just so I know that I want to finish these books first before I begin any other books, if that kind of makes sense, or I buy more books. I try to just finish my TBR shelf because I really want to do that. So basically I ordered this package from Adlibris, which is basically like, I think it's a Swedish site, and they order books from the UK. I haven't told you guys what books I've ordered yet, but I'm just telling you, this is really exciting. Guys, oh, I'm a little bit disappointed. The first book that's on my TBR that I just ordered is The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Ahdieh. This is actually the second book in the duology, where the first book is The Wrath and the Dawn. And so basically this is a bigger copy. So that's why I'm a little bit disappointed. And also this is like matte and it's kind of shimmery. This one is not shimmery, and it's also one of those books that like it's harder to open. This one kind of just like falls open, and I like that. The worst part is that I was actually really disappointed because I went to my local like science fiction bookstore and they actually had this book on Sunday, and I was so frustrated because I wanted to read it like straight away, and then I had to wait for my package. And there they also had the one, the copy that looks more like this, so the one that matches this one, and the one that's like matte and nice, and they also had this one. I was like, please don't let me get this one in the mail. And then I got this one, but at least it's the matching covers and not like a different cover, so I guess I'm happy about that. And I mean, small books are easy to carry with and that kind of stuff, so this is definitely on my TBR. The next book that I ordered is Strange the Dreamer by Lady Taylor. So she's the author of the Smoke and Bone series, and I have not read those books because I can't make myself do it. Call me superficial, but I actually really don't like the covers. I just can't take the covers. And to be honest, I don't like the US cover for this book either, and I probably wouldn't be reading it if it wasn't for this cover, because this cover is beautiful. Like, this cover is gorgeous. Like, I would marry this cover. It's so beautiful. And this is a really big copy, but I really don't mind big copies, and this one isn't really stiff either. But it's just, oh my god, it's so beautiful. I know that some like copies have this like beautiful pattern on the inside. This one doesn't have that though, which is a little disappointing. But I'm really excited to get to this book. I don't know too much about it. I just know that it's about this sort of like librarian guy who is really obsessed with this lost city called like Weep. I haven't read the back, I've just heard people talking about it on BookTube, and that's how I know about it. So now let's get to my TBR. I know that this is going to be a really long video. If you don't want to watch it, or you just want to skip to whatever part you want to watch, that's fine. So the first book on my TBR, I didn't include this in my last TBR because I didn't really know I was going to read it. This is a middle grade book, and it's called Into the Wild, and it's basically about perspectives of this book clan. And as you guys can see, I came to page 124 when I was in 6th grade. So this is the first book I think that I ever got, and I got it from my mom's cousin, and I haven't read it, but then I saw it was still popular in the bookstore when I went to the UK. So I'm actually gonna read this. So I actually am putting it into my TBR now. Then we have this book, which is Accidentally Demonic, and this is a book by Dakota Cassidy. I think this is the 4th book in the Accidental series. So I have actually read first 3 books, and they are super funny. They have this like really weird writing style to it, and they're kind of hilarious. It's very girly, and they're okay, they're really decent, but it's 12 books, so I don't know if I'm going to continue with this series after I read this book, but we'll see. Then we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I got this book from my mom, so I think it's her copy, but it's mine now. Everyone just loves this book, to be honest. Like, everyone talks about it, and I just feel like it's a must-read. Then we have Never Letting Go by Kasumi Ishiguro, and this is a book that my mom's cousin recommended. My mom has also read it, and I'm just interested to know what it's about. I think it's always super interesting to read books that their favorite book. I just want to know what it's about. So yeah, I actually don't know what this is about. I'm just gonna go into it open-minded. The next two books I was actually supposed to read before I filmed this video because I want to finish all the books in my last TBR. But these two I haven't finished for my last TBR, and hopefully I'll get to them soon. But right now, like, there are other books that I want to read more, unfortunately. This is The Shining by Stephen King, and I haven't seen the movie, and I'm excited to read this book. It's 600 pages long, and I don't know, like, it's kind of intimidating right now. As well as this book, which is The World in Winter by John Christopher. I didn't like the first book in, like, this kind of Penguin copy that much, horror stories, and I have a hard time getting to read it, and they're kind of like higher on my priority since they were in my TBR. Hopefully I'll get to them soon. The next one is Ready Player One. I just know this is like a dystopian sort of thing where there's a lot of references to the 80s, and I heard people really like this book. It's by Ernest Cline, by the way. I'm just really interested to see what it's about. I think the cover is pretty cool, and I've only heard great things about this book. The next book is The Evolution of Mary Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. This is the second book in the Unbecoming of Mary Dyer. I've heard the series becomes like a little bit weird after a while, so I want to read it because I want to know how it ends and what the whole like series is about. I've heard they become like worse and worse, but I'm gonna give it a shot anyways. The next book on my TBR is King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. This is the last book in the Red Queen series, and I read the first two, and the first one was really good. The second one was like okay, but I just really want to finish the series, so I've said that I finished the series because I'm kind of, yeah, this is intimidating to be honest, because I kind of have a hard time getting started on it. The next book on my TBR is Trainspotting by Irvine Welsh. I haven't seen the first movie, to be honest. I haven't seen Trainspotting 1 and I haven't seen Trainspotting 2, but I just thought this would be a very different read, and I have read the first page, and the whole book is written in dialect. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's like an Irish dialect, I think so. And I can't really speak like the Irish dialect, so I wonder how, when I read this, I'm going to translate in my mind. It's also going to be kind of a difficult read because I have to get used to like the dialect and like the way they speak as well. I'm really excited to give this a shot. The next book on my TBR is Winter by Marissa Mayer. This is the last book in the Lunar Chronicles. I have read all 3 books of the first ones, and I thought they were brilliant. It's basically about this sort of dystopian world, sort of science fiction world, and they're all retellings of different princesses. This retelling of Winter is a retelling of Snow White, I believe. In the previous book, Cress, you got to meet Winter just like a little bit, and I have to say it's so exciting. Like, Winter seems like such an interesting character, and I can't wait to get this book, except it's 800 pages long. So that makes me really happy because it's an amazing book, or like a series, but at the same time it's 800 pages long. So probably gonna like wait a little while, but I really want to know the conclusion as well, so I have like mixed feelings about this book. The next book that I'm going to read is I Am Malala. I think this book I'm going to read this book this week. I hope to get to it because it's actually part of a book club, and this is the book club of the month. I'm excited to get to this. I've heard so much about it. I actually don't know much about her from previously, so I just want to go into this book open-minded and kind of just discover what it's about and learn her story from just reading this book. So I'm probably going to get to this soon. The next book on my TBR is Furthermore by Tahira Mafi. I haven't read any other books by her, so I'm really excited to get to this. I think this is a middle grade book as well, and it's about this girl who is black and white, I think, in a world of magic, and she has to go on this quest to like find her dad or something. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I just want to read this book because the cover is gorgeous and everyone's talked great about it, even people who are well into their 20s. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this book. I think it's going to be like light and fun and story, and I heard the writing is amazing. The next book is Carrie by Stephen King. So I didn't know Stephen King was the original author of the story of Carrie. It was also in the young adult section of the bookstore. So I decided to pick it up to see if I actually like it. It's pretty short too, so I thought it would just be fun to actually know the original story. I still haven't watched the movie of this as well, so hopefully it doesn't creep me out too much. The next book on my TBR is Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. This is the third book in the Percy Jackson series, and if you guys haven't noticed yet, I have 3 completely different copies of this book. So this is the first book in the series, this is the second book that I have, and then I have the third book. So now it's kind of become a theme that I like buy a different copy for every book. So I'm actually going to try to find like a different copy from the fourth one, and if I can't, I'll probably buy another one of whichever one I have. But yeah, I actually think it's kind of fun now. It doesn't really bother me. It's about like half gods and Olympians and all that jazz. I'll just take this book when I feel like reading it, to be honest. The next book is a book that I got from my mom. It's a kind of, what do you call it, like personal development book. And it's called Building Social Confidence. It's written by Lynn Henderson and Paul Gilbert. I don't really know much about this book, but honestly, I need to build myself some social confidence. So hopefully I'll learn something from this because I honestly really need it. The next book is the second book in the Celestial Prophecy. I read this summer and I had a pretty interesting talk about it, so you can watch that in the cards. And this is the second book, and it's called The 10th Insight. You kind of need to be a little bit more open-minded when reading these books, but I highly recommend it. And please go and watch my review and talk about it. I had a really fun reading it and talking about it as well. And the next book on my TBR is Six of Crows, and I honestly bought this book because it was like buy one get one half price at Waterstones. And I don't know much about this book. I know it's about like a heist, and there's like 6 characters I get to follow, and everyone loves this book. It's written by Lee Bardugo, and I've heard great things about him as well, so hopefully I'll like this book as well. The next book on my TBR is More Than This by Patrick Ness, and I haven't read A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and everyone's talked so much about it. I bought this book in particular because I liked the cover, and I kind of wanted to see where the author was going to take it. And I don't know anything about this book. I just kind of know it's a great author, and I like the cover, and I've heard good things about this as well. John Green tells me to just read it, so I'm going to listen to him and just read it. The last book on my TBR is A Darker Shade of Magic. This is obviously not the prettiest copy because the US copy is so much better. I just know that this is about a guy who can travel through different kind of dimensions or versions of London, and he is like a messenger, and then he gets in trouble for trading that he isn't allowed to do, and that's all I know about it. I know this is like an adult fantasy, and this is the first book in a series of 3 books, I believe, so I'm excited to get to this. And it's written by V. Schwab, and I've wanted to read her books for such a long time, like Vicious and everything, and I just want to read them so bad, but this is a start. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope that you get inspired to read, buy some books, and if there's any of these books that you want me to read sooner rather than later, or you want to talk about it, please comment below. I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!